very dark truth about the gaming industry. Here we go.
WolfHeart, you don't have to play the game. Nobody's forcing you to play it or spend any money. Idiot, wake the f*** up. The whole gaming industry is turning into this.
Of course it is. I'm glad somebody else is seeing this.
Hello. I'm here to talk about monetization. It's
good. We saw this.
About a
this is great.
A huge bunch of behavioral psychology.
It's not the whole video.
So the tricks on how to monetize a game well. Some of you will probably be slightly shocked by all the tricks I have listed here, but I'll leave the morality of it out of the talk. We can discuss it if we have time later. So let's dive right in.
It's hilarious.
First off, Wall Street trader and oil sheikh got into a fight. Who won? You guys did.
As well as our very own Josh Lipton. Josh, kick it off.
Oh, wow. What's this?
Thank you, Sarah and Bobby. Thank you for joining us.
Bobby? Oh,
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Wait, Bobby's
on TV,
guys. Check this out.
At least initially, though,
holy shit!
Seem a bit underwhelmed. We're about 0.4%. What do you tell those investors, Bobby, about these results?
Well, I think they were great results. I think we had a good quarter, and if you look at all the metrics that we measure, we think that we've established a great pathway for growth for what is going to be probably, if you look at the era of gaming over the last 30 years.
The era of gaming.
When I look out over the next decade,
I wonder what he means by that.
Decade for our company than I've ever seen in the 30 years that I've been doing.
I'm thinking century, Bobby.
Let me ask you about that opportunity, Bobby. At least, let's talk about 2020, the pipeline. When you think about your pipipeline of games there, what are going to be the big growth drivers this year, Bobby? Is it
mobile PC releases?
Call of Duty Mobile? Is it the esports business? Diablo Immortal? What has you excited?
It's got to be mobile.
Excite investors.
Well, I think if you look across our franchises, a lot of our franchises have never actually been on mobile devices before. And if you think about the history of gaming, most of the history of our industry.
So there's actually an interview with Bobby saying this is the big game.
Boys?
Holy shit! It's Bobby's world, yeah, apparently. Oh my god.
In today's video, I'm going to dive a bit into a presentation that goes over spicy monetization tricks that companies use in their video games. And this particular conference took place at the Pocket Gamer Conference in 2016. And the speaker is the CEO of a company called TribeFlame. And you guessed it, that company specializes in mobile and tablet games.
Yeah,
but
I've seen this part.
Is relevant
I've seen
to
the original
gaming industry as a whole. I'll leave a link to the original video below if you'd like to watch it. I guess we'll start here.
But I'll leave the morality of it out of the talk. We can discuss
it
if we have time later.
That laugh that you heard at the conference is the laugh of a man that will likely be working for a company that holds the IP to some of your most beloved gaming franchises.
Yeah, it's just going to keep happening to more and more games.
Morality is clearly not on the forefront of conversation for many gaming companies. It's a topic that we may talk about if we have time at the end.
Yeah, of course.
So now that that's clear, what is most important?
Diablo Immortal, what has you excited? What do you think should excite investors?
What do you think will excite investors, Bobby?
I'm very curious about what he's going to say.
What do you think will excite gamers?
Yeah, what's gonna get the investors excited for
we don't
this?
talk about that. Before I show you guys how effed up this conference truly is, I want to preface by saying that when this guy says mobile games, you might as well just hear all games, all platforms, and all genres.
Oh yeah.
Why? Well, because that's absolutely the direction that the entire gaming industry is headed in. You might not care at the moment, but I promise you that you will care when it inevitably starts affecting the games, franchises, and platforms that you've personally always enjoyed.
See, I think that's what's going to happen, is that they're going to, as soon as one of these games does well, you're going to have other companies that start doing the same thing to your favorite games too. It's like, let's say you didn't really give a shit about Diablo, and so Diablo Immortal's like a funny thing. Grand Theft Auto 6, Halo, Elden Ring. I don't think Elden Ring's going to be the same, right? But what I'm saying is like the amount of games that you can play and not have like a million different limitations and handicaps and ankle weights put on you because you're not spending money to take them off. The amount of games that you can do that with is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller every single year. I think that's really what's going to happen more than anything.
I mean, are MMOs not proof enough that PC is not safe? For the love of God, please spare me the condescending comments. I'm the only one that's allowed to be condescending for entertainment value.
Absolutely.
The condescending comments where you act like you're on some high ground of superior intelligence over everyone else because you don't fall victim to these immoral cash shop practices. It's not...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, just because you don't spend money on the game, like, there are a lot of people, like, I'm the same way. I'm not going to spend money on these stupid games. Like, I do it for content on my stream. I don't play these games off stream. I don't do this because it's stupid. Like, why the fuck would I pay them money to get through something that I already had? Yeah, of course I'm not going to do that. I don't have any other game. Like, no, Lost Ark. Yeah, I play Lost Ark for content on my fucking stream. We'll do honing in a little while. But, like, what I'm really trying to say here is spending money. Yeah, I don't play any of these other games. I never have gotten into this. I don't gamble. I don't buy lottery tickets. I don't do any of this stuff. I don't play cards. It's because I know it's fucking random and I can lose, and usually it's rigged against me. So why would I spend even a second of my life, a dollar of my money doing this? There's no reason to. What's this here? Assassin's Creed. Am I drunk? But you spent money on Diablo Immortal. What the fuck are you talking about? Banned. That's a ban. Anyway, what I'm saying here is very clear, okay? Anybody doesn't get it. I don't spend money on these games outside of making content for my stream. It's that simple. Because I'm not going to fall victim to this stuff either. Of course not. I do it for content. The moment the content's over, I'm done. I uninstall the game.
As simple as that. In fact, there's a lot of studies out there that show that highly intelligent people are sometimes more prone to fall victim to addictions. How could that be if they're so intelligent? There's more to it than that. So when you say that, it makes you look actually stupid, because there's more to it than that, and you weren't intelligent enough to understand that. So
well, it doesn't matter, like, if more intelligent people fall victim to it or not, or how many. It doesn't matter what you do, because you're not everybody. You're just one person. And so it's like, oh, well, I don't mind this because it doesn't take advantage of me. Like, the games are certifiably worse because they're being designed with pay to win in mind. And that's what I think a lot of people that, like, make this argument don't realize, is that these people understand all of that, and they're the ones that are turning around and they're making the entire game worse.
Don't say that. Let's just assume that you're actually right, though. Are you going to be a jackass about it, or are you going to help people out? Is it okay to take advantage of people with Down syndrome? No. Is it okay to take advantage of people of lower intelligence? If you say yes to that, then you're a snaky fucking salesman, and I doubt that you have many loved ones in your life. Don't be
That's a bit much. I think that a lot of times advertisement is meant to, and there's a lot of things that are meant to take advantage of people that are dumb. Like, you can make this argument. I think this is kind of a bit of a slippery slope. I don't really know. But it's like, whenever you get into the, whenever you get into, like, the morality of marketing and sales, I think that it's always, it's definitely like, risky waters. There's nothing that's, like, really 100% accurate or true or not. It's a bit much. I think so too, because, like, for example, there's a lot of dumb people that get tricked by things that are just, like, industry norms, right? Like marking things with even, odd numbered numbers, like, 9.97 or like 9.99 instead of $10. That's a trick for effectively dumb people. But would you say that's manipulating people of lower intelligence? Probably not, in the same way that you'd probably say Diablo Immortal is. So I think that all of these things exist on a spectrum, and it's important to keep in mind that all of the things are bad, like, to a degree, but it's like, how bad is too bad?
Jackass, help us make this better.
You see what I'm saying?
Be a hero. Be the intelligent hero that everybody needs. Okay.
The
That's
best
us.
way
we're gonna be the hero.
Make sure
skip
both
ahead
your retention and your monetization
bigger and bigger. Well, that's part of the reason right there. They want to create a never-ending cycle of buying. Poor players can't do shit, and they fall behind everyone. Middle-class players that are willing to spend some money
just a
can
little
never,
bit of money.
ever reach
Maybe
the
only
top,
$100.
even if there's an illusion that makes them feel like they can reach the top, and then whales will fund, for the most part, the entire operation. And if we look at this from a non-competitive perspective, or from the perspective of a player who even plays solo, that doesn't care about anything around him, doesn't care about other players being ahead of themselves, well, you guys are never going to be able to experience a game in its entirety unless you're the top percentage of those rich players.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be able to play the game the way that you're supposed to be able to play the game. It's like the game is designed in a way to incentivize you to spend money. It's like, imagine if the store existed and nobody used the store. That would be a massive issue. They would obviously fix that. Like, why would there be a store if nobody used the store? So the game is designed in a way to incentivize you to use the store. So if the store didn't exist, it wouldn't be designed that way. It's common sense. New Kotaku article said people complaining about Diablo Immortal are trolls and gatekeepers and that the game isn't pay to win. I actually have a positive Diablo Immortal video that I was going to watch today as well. And I'm not going to watch it like right this second because we're watching this one, but it's going to be after it. It's called Stop Trolling. Free to play is better than pay to win. I thought this would be fun to watch. You know, it's good to have different opinions out there and to have new viewpoints on the world. So we're going to do that one after this. Here we go.
Are willing to spend that money buying a game and then getting the entire game and getting a full experience. Those days are going away.
They're gone.
And like I said, even if you think it doesn't matter to you right now because you don't care about Diablo Immortal or whatever phone games are out there, it's coming your way. It's coming. Fucking wake up.
Now, if you look at this from a monetization perspective, the hook is where you put up never pay for a mobile game. So you need to break the wall first.
That's right. You break them down. That's the first thing. Yeah, you break down their barriers and you make them give you money. You get them addicted to video games and you make them give you money.
Is to break that wall. It's not to give you a really good deal on something. Just try to recognize it when you see it. Most of the time it's misleading or it's highly...
None of it is a good or a bad deal. That's what you have to understand. Is that to the extent that you pay money into a microtransaction, it's a bad deal. Fundamentally. Like, on a fundamental level, it doesn't matter if you get 1 million items for fucking 1 penny, it's still a bad deal. And it's like, oh, well, this is a good deal comparatively. Comparatively to what? There are other bad deals? What the fuck do you mean? They're all bad deals. Yeah, you're buying pixels.
The habit is, like, main meat of the is...
We've seen this. Let's skip ahead.
Also spending and have them emotionally invest themselves in so hook the player.
Yep.
Form a habit out of them playing and also spending and have them emotionally invest themselves in the game by using deceptive practices. And then
that's what you do, right? Is you want to get people emotionally invested into the game. And that's why a lot of these pay-to-win things, like most pay-to-win in games is not really that bad. But whenever it gets bad is whenever you get to like max level or something like that. That's whenever it gets a lot worse. That's what's bad. You'd watch Grumpy's video talking about Diablo, how he spent thousands, loves the game. Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Let me see here.
So they can never actually spend enough to actually complete the full game.
Yeah.
Like, you can never get the full worth out of the game for the most part. 99.9% of players. This is what the gaming industry is becoming.
Yep.
I thought we kind of agreed that games are worth anywhere from 50 cents upwards to 60, 70 US dollars. Now, games of lesser quality are somehow worth hundreds of thousands of dollars per player? What the fuck?
So let's go down into some of these more tricks. It takes like 5 times as long to get the collection that they need compared to just progressing and collecting soft currency and buying it straight off.
So games that
that's exactly right. The gotchas is the gambling. Like, that's it. That's the gambling element. That's the bad part. Everything else is whatever. And what maximum profit? Yeah, there you go. And per character per season. The reason why it works is because there is some truth to this. And I will give game developers credit in saying this. I do think that gamers are not willing to pay how much games cost to be developed nowadays. But the reason why, another big reason why, is because the way that games are developed is wasteful. Most of the things that gaming studios do to make games better, the players don't care about. The players don't care about having a famous voice actor for a character. They don't care about having a motion tracker to make sure that whenever somebody falls on the ground, it's exactly realistic as if they were falling on the ground in real life. Nobody really gives a shit about this except for developers and other people that care about the technology of it. This is not something that sells video games. And because of that, prices of games go up without the quality of it going up accordingly.
have gotcha mechanics, which there's a lot of them, including Diablo Immortal, are gambling. I think we all know this, right? So why aren't they labeled as gambling games? Why isn't there a strict verification process that players have to go through in order to play the game in the first place? These are not just MMOs or RPGs or whatever. They're gambling games, and it needs to be labeled as so, and it should probably also be illegal depending on which country you're playing in, such as the Netherlands and Belgium.
I think so. The reason why it's not labeled as gambling, like, this is how they get around it, is they get around it with things like Diablo Immortal, where they're not really selling you gambling. You just have to run a rift, and then you get the stuff out of it. So there is gameplay involved, but everybody knows that's not really true. Do you see kind of what I'm saying and how this happens? How, like, you have, oh, well, it's kind of gambling, but it's not really gambling. That's how this stuff takes advantage of you, and that's how it takes control. Yeah, you buy the Rift, and it's like you still have to play the game. It's not gambling. Gambling means you might get some of your money back. I think that's one factor for sure.
Cannot play Diablo Immortal due to loot box laws.
Yeah.
Then
second category, the more hardcore games, because we like, you know, in-depth character systems,
of course,
a lot of social dynamics, some complexity behind the game. These are games that we play because of our passion. Most of us don't really care about the Candy Crushes because it doesn't personally affect us. But
what I think this guy doesn't understand is that he's not talking to us. The problem is that we can't talk to them. We can't talk to the average gamer that spends $20 on Candy Crush a week. We never get a chance to see them. We don't talk to them. They're not consuming gaming media. They don't care about which sweaty, hairy nerd is mad about a video game. They don't watch video game videos. That's the problem.
But now it is affecting us as more and more of our favorite types of games go into that 5% category that guy mentioned. Diablo franchise, for example. Diablo Immortal might be designed as a mobile game, but do you really think Diablo 4 is going to bring us back to the good old days? Games are being designed to attract us, but they are not.
They need to make money. That's the thing, is that with video games, and this is just the way that companies are run, there are people and they have their money invested in Activision Blizzard, and they want their $100 to be $130. And if their $100 is only $105, they're fucking pissed. They're like, wait a second, I thought I wanted $130. And so let's get somebody in charge here who wants to make $130. And so this is what happens and also it's not just publicly traded companies. I think the best example of this is Smilegate. Smilegate is not a publicly traded company, but it still has plenty of pay to win features, because being publicly traded just means that you're like, anybody can be greedy. One person can be greedy. That's it.
Designed for us. They're designed for players that will spend a lot more than the game's worth, and it's probably not in their best interest to play these games either, so they're not designed for anyone.
No,
I take that back. They're designed for, the investors or the people that are the higher-ups in the company that get to reap the benefits of the profit. Even the game devs probably aren't too happy about the game they've created. So
that's also another thing that sucks, is like, I think that's true. I think that there are a lot of game developers that are part of these larger companies that realize what's happening, and they just don't have the financial security to move away from it. Because the truth is, like, yeah, you could say, oh, well, quit your job, stop working there. Shut up. Like, these are people that are fucking, they've relocated their family to California. They have a job at Blizzard that pays them benefits. They're not going to quit over this job. Like, let's be honest, over this. Like, a game dev can confirm, yeah, almost all game devs don't agree with this. I would assume so. There are probably very few game developers and game designers that are thinking, how can I get that money out of them? Ooh, how can I get that money out of them? And the reason why they're not game developers is because they're the executives that run the company, okay? So, yeah, they're not the ones that make the games in the first place. It's always the executives. These are top-down decisions. The people that, like, their name, like Ian and, like the people that work on WoW, etc., they don't give a fuck about this shit. They don't care. They just want to make the game good.
Literally, games are not being designed for gamers or regular game devs anymore. We're out of the picture. WolfHeart, you don't have to play the game. Nobody's forcing you to play it or spend any money. Idiot, wake the fuck up. The whole gaming industry is turning into this model of gaming. There's still some left.
This is like, you know what it reminds me of? It's like the people that like I believe, by the way, I know this might upset some people, I believe in climate change, okay? I think climate change is true. You light a cigarette in a house smells bad. You have pollution in a city's bad. You put a bunch of, you put food coloring in the water changes color. Logically, you can extrapolate that to it affecting the whole world. But there's whole areas in China that like living there is like smoking 2 packs of cigarette a day. Like this is not unreasonable to expect that this is probably an outcome. So these are the people. Yeah, it's just common sense. It's got brother, brother, nope, brother, nope. Well, we gonna drive it. No, yeah, sure. All I'm saying is this: I believe in this completely. Okay. It was one of the reasons, I'm not going to get political, right? But it's one of the reasons the main reason why I want to vote for Bernie Sanders is because he said the biggest threat facing us right now is climate change. Not some bullshit socio-political Republicans versus Democrat garbage, but actual fucking climate change. I completely agree with it. Aqua Blue Chief with the 50 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. And anyway... So it's like whenever I hear this and people are talking about climate change and then some guy's like, what you mean about that climate change? You talk about that fake science shit? What you mean, bro? It was cold yesterday. It was cold yesterday. What do you mean fucking global warming? It was literally yesterday. What's this guy thinking about? Who this guy talking to? What is this? Like, yeah, it was cold yesterday. And that's how they think.
To cherish those companies. Shout out to Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3. Very freaking excited. But the whole industry is heading that way. We already see it with MMOs over the past 10 years or so, and it's starting to go into other genres, so stop saying that.
Hot state.
And when they what mode they want your brain to be in when they try to have you purchase something. In this case, they're saying that they want your brain to be fast thinking, and how companies can do this is they can offer a product that a player knows will be of immediate use to them. So not a product that they have to, think about and analyze, something that can be immediately useful. Think about this stuff while you guys are playing games, even games that you respect and still think that are good, that have cash shops. Think about this when they pop up in front of you. We want to be able to recognize these things. I think awareness could go a long way, I guess, in somehow possibly making gaming better.
I think that awareness is not going to do a fucking thing, because the people that get taken advantage of, hey, how many of you guys know, did anybody here know that the lottery, you're probably not going to win? Like, there's like a really small chance that you're not going to win. Like, I'm talking about like a 0.00, going on, right? Yeah, you're probably not going to win. It's not a 50-50. I'm sorry, it's not. And so anyway, but we all know this, right? Of course, it's common sense. But you go down to the fucking 7-Eleven and you're seeing people scratching on, oh, I'm going to be a winner. Oh my God, I got $23. Here's 50 more. Give me 5. And that's what they do. It's because you're not, like, the audience of you, like my audience, these are not people that are getting taken advantage of. We're not the ones that are getting fucked. It's people that, like, don't watch these videos.
Clear example of this in Diablo Immortal is right here. This player finished the story mission, and then for 99 cents, they can get more loot. Very quick and easy to understand. You don't have to analyze instantly. You're getting more loot. It's going to benefit you right.
And keep in mind, guys, Diablo Immortal is a popular game with over 5 million downloads on the Google Play Store.
Away.
Loss aversion. This is people are much more attached to the stuff they have than an equal amount of things that they can gain. In games, you can apply this by giving people stuff that is in their pocket, and then threaten to take it away unless they pay up.
Keep an eye out for it.
Office and scarcity plays into the loss aversion. If they get away from you, they are scarce, they go away. This is a brilliant way to get more.
Now, obviously, these tactics and tricks have been used by industries around the globe for a very long time.
Of course.
But in the gaming industry, it's still...
These are basic sales techniques. See, like, a lot of people are not very good at detecting basic sales techniques. And I can actually, like, for example, there's a lot of ways that you can actually scam people, and you can do it right in front of them, and they will literally let it happen. They will actually let it happen. It sounds crazy, but like it's a certain level of manipulation where people think that they're in control, but they're actually not, right? The Twitch subs, yeah, it's the same as like talking about Twitch subs and shit like that. And then if you do that, you get everybody to subscribe. And like you see this all the time, right? People, it happens, and there's a lot of people that do this. For example, well, what do you mean, for example? We know what the example is, don't we? I just used it. It's that simple. They started sponsoring smaller streamers to promote the game. Yeah, and that's what it is. Happens constantly. Yeah, Twitch Prime stuff, exactly. Twitch Prime is free, to be fair.
Relatively new in the scope
it's not
of
really
things.
The same
Now,
thing as, like,
the problem
money,
that I have
yeah.
with the scarcity trick here is that the scarcity is being designed around the cash shop. It's not being designed to make the game better.
The scarcity is artificial. It's their game, their god. So if there's any scarcity in the game, it's because they programmed it like that. So if you ever think like, oh, well, it's because there's not that many of these. Yeah, well, why aren't there that many of them? Well, it's because it's programmed that way. Yeah, it's put there on purpose that way. It's common sense. Capitalism only cares about profit. Greed only cares about profit. It's greed. You get rid of capitalism, you'll still have this. This was happening whenever Grug and Ugg were collecting rocks. Whenever they had there was like, 35 shiny rocks, Grug and Ugg were trying to pick up rocks and put them behind them so the other guy didn't see the rock whenever they were dividing out how many rocks they had. This literally is as old as humanity. It doesn't matter.
Becoming a battle of the cash shop. Who can spend the most the quickest? Yeah. And why is that fun? Well, for the majority of gamers, I don't think that is fun.
It's funny. It's fun for a lot of people because it's guys that like throwing their money around. You guys see this, like, I've never been to a strip club, but my understanding is guys do this at strip clubs. There are people who, like, donate ridiculous amounts to streamers as well. These are people who these are conspicuous spenders. People that like being known as a person that has a lot of money. Like, am I wrong about this? Like, yeah, am I rich? Yeah, exactly, it's fucking rich. Yeah, there you fucking go. And don't go to strip clubs, they're the worst? I don't, okay? Don't worry about it. So what I'm saying here is that, like, a lot of the people, here's the worst thing, is that a lot of the people that care about being perceived as being wealthy are not wealthy. These are people that don't have a lot of money, and they're donating, like, $10,000, or they're spending $10,000 on a mobile game, and they don't have that money. But they want to be that rich. They want to be able to afford that, so they do it, and they get fucked over because of it.
Anchoring is fun. Anchoring means that when we don't know the price of stuff.
That man said it's fun. It's also highly deceptive. So when you're playing games with cash shops, just try to recognize that that first price that they showed to you was a deceptive price. It's not
I think that any sort of a cash shop item, so I think cash shop item values should function on the same way as dividing by zero. It doesn't matter if it's $1, a cent, or $1 million. Divide it by zero, it's zero. Doesn't matter. Anything that sells a function in the game should not be supported by a player. No. Wait, what are the question marks here? Oh, you okay, multiplied by zero. Sorry, multiplied by zero. Yeah, multiplied by zero, that's fine. I was getting confused. Obviously, I've been talking a lot, and whatever. Yeah, multiply it by zero. So it should be multiplied against zero. So if it's $1 or it's a fucking $100 or anything, it's still zero. Any function that the game tries to sell to you is a deliberate bad design of the game that they are selling you a solution for. Do you see what I'm saying here? Yeah, do you see kind of what I'm saying here? Does this make sense? Yeah, well, let's see here. Absolutely, like WoW subs. Well, WoW subs, you pay to play the game. That's different. Obviously, it's clearly like paying to play a game is very different than paying for a function inside of a game.
Actually worth that. And most video games, it's not worth the discount either, but you guys get what I'm saying. An example of this is when you go to a store and you pick up an item and you look at the tag and it says $79.99, but below that there's a sticker that says $19.99.
They do this all the time.
Holy shit, that's way lower right now. But in reality, it was never worth $79.99 in the first place. They just put that there so they could play some mind tricks on you.
Social proof.
Yeah, they have that shit all the time. Like, that's all over the place, and like Kohl's, JCPenney, this kind of stuff, it's very popular.
Them that.
Never tell people the truth. Never. It's poison for your video game. Just remember that. It's poison. I talked a little bit about pegging in my most recent Diablo video, and for those of you that are unfamiliar, pegging is when you tie one currency to another currency. So
I thought
in this
pegging
case,
was something
it's
else.
Tying your IRL money to fictional in-game currency. Now, there's several reasons why a game would want to do this with a cash out. The first one is that it's a little bit easier on the person buying something to use the fictional currency to buy something as opposed to directly buying things with their own money. There's a little bit of a psychological effect that doesn't make you feel as bad when you use that fictional currency.
Well, yeah, you create the degree of separation. I think that's obvious. There's a lot of companies that do that. It's very well documented at this point. Everybody knows about it.
Another reason is a lot of games will have multiple in-game currencies, and I know that Asmongold recently reacted to my Diablo Immortal video, and Asmon, if for some reason you watch this, I appreciate the exposure. And also thank you to all of you that came over from Asmongold's Twitch or YouTube. I think I got like 700 to 1,000 subscriber boost the last couple days, more than I typically get, getting really close to 100k subscribers, so thank you guys very much for that.
But keep making more videos about this bullshit. I'll keep watching them. Everybody will. Like, we need more people talking about this. The reason why we need more people to talk about it is because I think that there are gamers, like, it's not entirely, like, you need a lot of people to really make a change happen. And I think the more that people try to expose this stuff, the better it is in the long term. But the only difference really is that, so, like, I say exposing it and making videos won't really make a difference. It won't. I don't think exposing it should be the goal. Exposing it should be the goal to make people realize that it's bad for you to move towards the real goal, which is having legislation against it in the first place. So it's kind of like, all I'm saying is you need to take it one step farther. Does that make sense? Link video. I will at the end.
Asmon talks a lot about the multiple currencies and how it can get really confusing and people end up overspending, etc. Now, another reason for pegging is that they can make a lot of in-game items almost impossible to purchase for the
I find it to be very funny that they use the word pegging to describe this. It's very accurate.
Value that they want them for. So in Diablo, cosmetic skins cost 1,000 eternal orbs, but there's no option to buy 1,000 eternal orbs. You either have to overspend or underspend, then you end up with leftover orbs, which has a psychological effect of you not wanting to waste those, so you buy more and then you're still left over with some.
You've always got a little bit more.
It's just, you guys get what I'm saying with this. It's a big psychological tactic that they're using. And then this guy at this conference was talking about how
it's crazy how people just let this happen too. Just when politicians get involved, to somehow fuck up gaming industry even more. Oh yeah, no, it's a Val orb. No, you're definitely right. It's absolutely a Val orb. Yeah, but the difference is that, like, if people control you because they control you in the what? Okay, all right. People might not put PoE. A Val orb is like it can corrupt an item. And it can corrupt an item and make it really powerful, like give it like an extra socket or like a different type of socket. It can give it like extra damage or like, +2 to like gem level, which is huge in the game. Or it can delete the item. It is a massive fucking gamble. It's basically a gambling orb. It's an unpredictable result, exactly. And yeah, it's absolutely a Val orb. But people control you because they know that you're too afraid to take a nuclear option that can have a positive or negative effect. For me, I'm always going to take a nuclear option because people control you if you won't. Never be afraid to lose whatever you can to get what you want. Yeah, always do that. Because if you can't, then people will just slowly edge shit away from you. Go all in, yeah, all in.
Allows the game to broadcast when players buy things, because I'm not sure if you're allowed to broadcast if a player spends like $79.99 US, but they can broadcast that a player is spending gems or eternal orbs and stuff like that.
Availability means that the stuff we hear a lot about is the stuff we judge as likely to happen. Every time a clan member gets one of the rare things, you should broadcast it to all of the others, like your friend.
They do this in Lost Ark and BDO.
And got this rare legendary thing, now too. Then they will judge it more likely.
So what he's saying here is, for example, if there's something that's super rare in a video game, if somebody achieves that, you want to broadcast it to as many players as possible that a player received that item, because psychologically that makes everybody else want to now try for that item, even if they have a 0.000000001% chance of getting it. So if you don't...
Oh no, well, it's also like the spectacle of an extreme rarity of something is just compelling to people. They're like, holy fuck, this never happens? Really? Wow, that's really cool. That's it. Yes, Lost Ark announced hones, exactly. They do. Just like the lottery. And yeah, people like seeing it. Like a lot of my popular videos, right? Asmongold getting like a drop of X or Y or Z thing, right? Yeah, people love that.
Broadcast it to everybody.
Yeah, Trainwreck's biggest clips are whenever he wins money. It's not whenever he does a spin and it's like, oh, you got $2,000, you spent $1,500. No, it's whenever you get 22 million.
Won't feel like they want to even go for it, but the minute that you tell everybody that somebody else got it, it has a psychological effect and gets people to start gambling.
Maybe I
understand that these practices are used in our everyday lives. Everywhere that we go, we see stuff like this all the time. The problem is that it's now a big part of the gaming industry, and it's only going to get bigger unless we find a way to do something, and this is ruining video games, in my opinion. This is not why we play video games. The whole industry is shifting towards this.
Yes.
We're not going to have quality video games anymore. That's why this is so important.
It's not that we won't have quality video games anymore. I will disagree on that partially. And the reason why I'm disagreeing on that is because of this. I think that we will continue to have quality video games, but there will just be less of them. And then the year after that, there will be less of them even more. You see what I'm saying? Like, yes, there will continuously become less and less video games. Fewer? Sorry, Nixie. Yes, fewer. There will be fewer video games.
Back in my day, we used to play games and then we would upgrade our character in the game, not in the meta.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going to be in the future. We're going to be looped to the store constantly, which is where you'll have to make the meaningful upgrades. Meaning you got to...
That's right. You want to get people in the habit of going to the store because the store is where you get the money, right? It's the same reason. So like supermarkets do this, for example. So supermarkets have a lot of the most expensive items, or not most expensive, excuse me. The best items, the main items that you want, like milk, potatoes, eggs, shit like that. How many of you guys are those things in the back of the supermarket? How many of those are in the back of the supermarket? Yeah. It's because that's what they get people to walk all the way down there, and they hope that they buy something on the way over. There it is.
Spend your money.
Telling people the reason to do something makes them much more likely to actually follow through and do that. Spend because reasons. The reasons don't even have to be that good in order for this to work.
No.
As the industry moves more towards these cash shop type models, well, if this guy is telling the truth here, then these companies aren't going to be incentivized to want to do skill games. They're going to take a lot of the skill out. So those of you guys that like skill-based games, I mean, I'm not really...
Imagine who likes a skill-based game. Bro, you can lose in that. Yeah, you can lose at that. And this is, I want to go ahead. I'm going to bring up an individual. And these are the people that we're trying to reach, okay? It's this guy right here. It's his first message that he's ever typed, ever. He's been following for 4 years. He says, why the F people crying about phone game? These are the people that we're trying to reach. These are the ones that we're trying to talk to, and we're trying to get them to understand what's going on. 4 years. 4 years for this right here. And I'm not a ban him. No, the thing is, like, there's a lot of people, and I bet he'll probably say something like, oh, well, all phone games are like this. This is just the way phone games are. It's like, yeah, bro, we fucking know that. That's the problem. Is that the CEO of Blizzard? Yeah, that's Bobby. It's his other account. Yeah, there you go. He left? Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back in 4 more years.
Thinking about FPS, I'm more so thinking about MMOs and RPGs.
Yeah.
Well, that genre is going to start going away. Like, we're losing quality, and we're also losing skill-based games. This is what's happening.
So make sure grinding and paying are legitimate versions of progressing in the game.
This guy's not done yet, though. I still have one more thing to talk about, and that is reciprocity, which I talked a little bit about in my Diablo video. Let's hear what this jabroni has to say.
Reciprocity is a very, very strong mechanic. If I give something to you, if you give something to me, I feel obliged to give something to you.
But it's only a second.
This is why games give you so much free stuff, because they want you to give back with your wallet. Why even do the free version of the Battle Pass, Diablo Immortal? If all that stuff's free, you might as well just give it to us in-game. You don't have to do it through the Battle Pass. Oh, wait.
Well, it's because that works. Like, the companies do this stuff. It's like the supermarket example. It works. That's why everybody does it. If it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. They do it because it does work. It's that simple.
We just learned about reciprocity. They want to make it look like they're giving us something, so we might end up upgrading to Battle Pass Tier 1.
Ooh.
Well, it's back to work for me. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Much more MMO and RPG content to come. Maybe I'll do some deeper dives into these subjects. I know that making a YouTube video is not really going to change much, but maybe this video could bring a little bit more awareness to this topic and maybe help a few of you recognize these tactics when they pop up in your face when you're playing these bullshit games. And yeah, what the fuck you looking at? I'll catch you guys in the next one.
That's the way I feel about it too. I think that these games are going to become more and more prevalent and more powerful. That's what's going to happen. You rise your audience to the people spending money? No, I don't think so. I think, yes, some of my this guy, obviously, you know, he appreciated me watching his videos. Thank you very much. He's almost at 100,000 subscribers. So if anybody enjoys his content, make sure to give him a sub. YouTube sends you a special little metal thing that says you're a good boy if you get 100,000 subs. I've got one of mine over there in the back. And so, yeah, Lost Ark viewers are whales. So, yes, only some of them are. Link the video again. Yeah, make sure to give him a sub, give him some support, man. It's important to make make people like this feel good, make them keep making content. I do think that a lot more people should be talking about this, and it should be something that people have a consensus on.